Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing 147 Snooker Maximum. Now, I did actually have a different puzzle in mind for today, by the way, but after finishing recording it, despite the 1-star difficulty rating, it took me almost 45 minutes, and I thought, yeah, that felt quite difficult, so I'm actually going to put it for the weekend. And now I've immediately sort of taken a look instead at 147 Snooker Maximum as the one to feature for today. There's so much I want to say about this puzzle. So, kind of the obvious thing about the thumbnail, then I'm going to put up the grid, is if you're not familiar with this, so 147 is actually the maximum number of points you can get in snooker. Essentially, if you're breaking and you play an absolutely perfect game, 147 would be the maximum that the player can get. And there's the ongoing Snooker Championship right now, and the constructor here, Demo89, kind of basically built this puzzle almost like as a tribute towards snooker games and the snooker championships that are going on. If you're a snooker fanatic, I think you're going to really like this particular puzzle. But I'm not going to do it enough justice. I'm going to put up the grid now, take a look at the rules, and get on with solving, although I think there is a lot of hints that's going on here. So, onto the rule sets. 147 Snooker Maximum by Demo89. And let's just admire the work. If you're not familiar with snooker, I'm going to get this partly wrong. So I'm going to say yellow ball. I'm actually going to color this. Why not? Yellow ball, blue, brown. This is going to be tough. Brown, green, pink. Can I do pink? Kind of. And then black. So when you actually play snooker, there's a whole bunch of red balls at the end. And the idea is you've got a white cue ball, ironically also shown here. You're trying to pot some of these red balls. Then you get to pick one of the colored balls to actually play it. And each of the different colors actually have an associated point. And Demo here has actually positioned these numbers to perfectly align to, well, perfectly align, roughly where those balls are. I guess the black crop key technically could be the ball, but the fact that this is a 7 here feels, yeah, I mean, that could also be the black ball. So yeah, what a phenomenal kind of setup. You've got also this triangle showing you kind of the red balls, and then finally you've got the actual pockets, the corners, as well as the two edges. It's just fantastic. I'm going to leave these colors on for a bit. At some point, I imagine it's going to get too distracting and I may have to remove it. But yeah, it just feels appropriate. Anyhow, long intro aside, let's take a look at the actual rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Then we have killer cages. Digits in a cage sum to the value shown in the corner of the cage, and digits may repeat if permitted by other Sudoku rules. Now, the may repeat bit is a little bit obvious because you've got this gigantic cage, 147, supposedly the maximum in a snooker game, over here, but then you've got a couple of normal cages that clearly digits cannot repeat because they're in the same row. So if this cell here was 2, this would have to be 5 to make sure that it adds up to the number given in the top left corner. So 2 plus 5 would make a 7, 2 cells that add up to 14, and however many of these cells to add up to 147, with clearly some repeats in this cage. We also have a bit more of a tribute to 147 with, 147 there at the top with little killers. So these two cells, let me read the rule. Numbers outside the grid indicate the sum of the digits on the marked diagonal. So the marked diagonal here with the 7, these two cells must add up to 7. So if that was a 2, this would have to be a 5 to add up to 7. And then these 3 cells have to add up to 14. We also have digits in grey circles must be odd. So essentially the snooker pockets have to be odd. They have to be from 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. The white dot separates digits that are consecutive. If this was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 to make sure that it's consecutive. And the black dot separates digits where one is double the other. If that was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that essentially one cell is double the other. Not all dots are necessarily given. That 2 with a 1 in here, no white dot, not a problem. That 2 with, maybe that's a bad example, that 4 with a 2 in here without a black dot is also just fine. So that's all the rules we have for today. Damo did leave a message, which I can't find now, but essentially saying something like the challenge is, can you, make a snooker break of 147? That's the challenge we have for today. If you want to play along, join in this snooker Sudoku Championship escapade. Link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. So I'll think out loud. First off, very little information given about these odd digits. The 7, you can do a bit of work here between the 7 and the 14. I mean, I may be tempted to look at that. The white Kropke dot and the black Kropke dot, yeah, this is not the place to start. 14 cage, there's 2 ways of doing that in 2 cells. It could be 5, 9, or 6, 8, and we have like no digits here to actually help us. Then again, 7 could be done in 3 ways in 2 cells, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 4. So it feels like we're being pointed towards the break of 147, and we're going to have to take a look at how to actually accomplish that in that cage. But it feels like a lot of work. I'm just going to quickly think about the options for the 7. So 3, 4 is not an option because this cell can't be either. If it is 2, 5, it has to be this way because of this 2. And the other possibility would be 1, 6. Now for the 14, it means with the 3 in here that these 2 cells have to add up to 11. Clearly 3, 8 is not available. 2, 9 would work. 4, 7 would work. 5, 6 actually doesn't. And the bizarre reason is because we actually need one of the 5 or 6s here for the 7. Because essentially either we're doing 1, 6 or 2, 5. So if I have a 5, 6 pair, well, so it'll be fine for the 14. It will break the 7. And yeah, this was as useful as I thought it was. So let's move on. So 147, if you're not familiar with this, and I'm sure many of you are, because of the normal Sudoku rules, that means we have to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every box. You add up all of the digits 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, you will get to 45. So I know that these cells add up to 45, which feels like a very long way away from 147. So what I'm tempted to do is essentially just to see if I maximize these cells, is that kind of the break-in? The break-in would be very ironic, but that feels like the kind of puzzle for it. So 45 in here, I'm just going to make a note of it. If I essentially minimize these, that would be 1, 2, 3. So the rest of this would be less 6 from 45 would be 39. I can see that the minimum I can put in here, the minimum I can put in here, given 1 and 4 already places 2, 3, 5, which is 10. So this is 35. And 4 cells in here would normally be 6, 7, 8, 9. But actually, I can't put the 6 in any of these. So 5, 7, 8, 9, which is 29. Now, if we just do some quick maths, that's 80. 148, with the 29 and 39 being 58, plus the 80, 148. Can I even... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make this. That'd be quite annoying if it's got 1 degree of freedom. 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if this is, if the 1 is in this section, which would have to be fair, without the 1, 2, 3, this would have to be 1 because of this 1. This would be 2, 3. Well, specifically, this would be the 2, this would be the 3. And then you can see already 2, 3, 5 doesn't actually work, does it? Because 2, 3, 5 with 2, 3 in here, I'd have a double 5. So the degree of freedom is somewhere in here. Is there a problem with one of these being 1, 2, 3, 2, 3? Maybe. What am I not noticing? 2, 3, 5. Yeah, that is 10. That would make this 35 with the rest. 1, 2, 3 would make this 39. Right, well, I mean, we know that this is maximum, given that it's a challenge to make this the absolute minimum across both. So this is not 5 or 7. These are the 5 or 7s. This is 8, 9. We have to maximize this, and that's the maximum because we've got a 6. The rest of this is 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's just think about this so we can actually place some digits. The 1 is forced. It's not part of the degree of freedom. The 2 is also forced. Because if I make this 3, 4, rather than 2, 3, that's 8, not 6. That's too big. So there has to be a 2 in here. No 2s. Has to be a 2 in here. Otherwise, it would be way too big. 2, 3, 5 would become 3, 5, 6, which is huge. Now, if there is a 3, 5 pair in here, and that's a big if, I think there has to be a 3, doesn't it? Because the alternative would be 3, 6, which resolves the degree of freedom, because once I put a 3 in here, I can't put a 3 in here. That becomes 2, 4 at a minimum. That's now 7. That's now 38. This is 35. And now if I add up everything, 35, 45, 80, that was 38 and 29. That's 57 plus 57, 67. Plus the 80, that's 147. That's done. Okay. I can see 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4 gives me 1, 2, 4 at the bottom. Clearly, because this is, the 1, 2, and 4 are here, this is not 1 or 2. Otherwise, I mean, if that's 1, that would have to be 2. I've broken it. If that's 2, that would be 1 or 4. I've also broken it. That's 4. That's 8. These are not 4s. This is 1, 2. What else can I see? I mean, we've got to sort of commend Demo that the break-in is the 147 cage. Where else do we go from here? 6, 8, 9. That's 6, 9. This is not 1 or 2. So this is the 3. That's the other 1, 2. 3s, 3s. Yeah, not very useful. What about the rest of this? Let's have a think. Oh, no, that doesn't give me anything. And the 5, 7, and 8, 9 are still not resolved. What is the rest in here? This is 5, 6, 9. Doesn't look resolved, does it? No 5s, not in here. That's the 5. That's 7. That's 5. This is 6, 9. That actually gives me a digit in here, which is an 8. In here, I need 6, 9, and 7. I did say 9, not 8. In here, I need an 8. And there, I need 3s and 5s and another 6, 9. So this is 3, 5, 9. It's a ton of options. It's just not 6 or 7 or 1. Where do we go from here? 5 onto the 14 cage. This is not 5-9, this is 6-8. That's good. 7. Oh, 6-8 gives me 9, gives me 8. 7 in here. Well, it's not 1-6, it's not 2-5, it is 3-4. That 3 forces it. That's 3, that's 4, that's 2, that's 4. These two cells are 1 and 2. That's the 2, that's the 1. This is not a 3. Should I be thinking about these pockets? Yes. That's all the odd digits. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. There are no other odd digits left in this column. So, 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9, not 1 or 5. That's forced now. That's 6. That's 1. To add up to 7. This is not 7 or 9. It has to be even. Therefore, this is... because I needed 11, not 2 or 4. So 7 with 4 is not 4. What are you doing, Sleuth? 2 and 9, not a 9. That 1 gave me the 2, the 1, the 2. This is all coming along very smoothly. Fantastic. 5, 7, 9. This one we know. This is just 8. In here, what do we have? We've got no 4s because of these 4s. That's a 4. I need another 5, 7, and an 8. That 8 tells me that's the 8. This is the 5, 7. Maybe time to think about the cue ball. So not 1, 2, not 2, 3, not 3, 4, not 4, 5, not 5, 6, not 6, 7, not 7, 8. This is incredibly entirely forced. With the 8, that's not the 8, that's the 8, that's the 9. That 9 carries on. 6, 9, lovely. Rest of this now is definitely a 2 in here. I meant to say there's definitely a 2 in there, excuse me. Definitely a 4 in here. The 1s and 3s are not restricted. This is 1 or 3, it's not a 1, that's a 3. That's a 1-4 pair. This is a 2-3 pair. In here I have 1, 6, and 7. Not 1, not 6. Unfortunately, all of them. Okay. Come on, where do we go from here? Not resolved. Not exactly resolved. 9, not 9. Don't know. I can see it's 1, 3, 9. This is 5, not 7. That's just 5, which gives me 7, which also gives me 6, plus 2 more digits. 4 and 8. 4, 8, 5, carries on giving 5. 8 gave me the 6 and 8. 8, that's not 8, that's the 8. This is 6 or 9, it's not a 6. That's 9, that's 6, that's 7, that's 9, that's 5. This is going all the way. This is 9. This is now 3, which is here because of this 3, and then whatever that digit is. 6. Lovely. That 7 gave me a 5. So I have another 1, 7 in here somewhere, plus a 9. I can't seem to place either, it doesn't seem. So this is 1, 9. This is 7, 9. That can't be a 6, surely. Yep, that's 1, 7. So we have another 1, 7 in here, plus 2 more digits, 3 and 5. No, 3 and 6. 6 is forced. Not forced is the 3. Okay. I'm going to pencil mark. 3, 7, 5. This is 1 or 9. It's not a 9 either. That's just 1. That's 9. That's 7. That's 1. That's 7. This is 3, 1. That 1 gives me the 1 and the 3. Surely we're nearly done now. This is a known digit. It's a 4, which gives me 1, 4. I need a 3 somewhere in here plus something else. 7. Not resolved. And here I need 5 and 9. That 9 does help. That's 9, that's 5. These two cells, 6, 2, 6, 6, 6, 2, 3, 7, 3, 2. And now I need 5 and 7. That's the 5. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's the 7 for the solution. That's a phenomenal puzzle demo. You know, particularly if you are a snooker fan, this is incredibly well shown. Incredibly well constructed. That's kind of more the weekday puzzle that I would like to feature. If you are curious about the really difficult puzzle that I referenced, tune in on Saturday evening where we're going to be solving a murder mystery. That murder mystery is a true murder mystery. We're trying to find victims. We're trying to find killers. It's a whole story. It was really almost designed as if we're trying to feature it on this channel. Hope you enjoyed today's puzzle and video. Fairly smooth solve. I did have a few clumsy solves recently, but this went fairly well. Hope to see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.